Okay, a couple of our answers here. The right, sorry, I didn't ask you to do the right section. Sorry, practice one. Record the letter of each graph with the given characteristic. So of those 6 graphs, which one has a vertical axis of symmetry? So graph B does, graph C, graph D, E does not, and neither does F. B, C, and D. Okay. Which ones has a horizontal axis of symmetry? Horizontal is then nope on A, no on B, no on C. Okay. Letter D, it does. You just got to make sure you find it. Right here is a horizontal. Letter E, it does not have a vertical, but it does have a horizontal axis of symmetry. And letter F, there's no horizontal line that's going to make it. So for letter B, that's going to be what we just say, D and E. All right. Passes through exactly one quadrant. So make sure you know your 4 quadrants, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, letter A is in quadrant 1. Letter B goes through all 4 quadrants. So this is 1 quadrant. This does all 4 quadrants. Letter C does 2 quadrants. Letter D, it is contained in one quadrant called quadrant 2. Letter E is in 2 quadrants, and letter F is in all 4. So it looks like letter A and letter D. Let me erase all that. Okay. And then letter D. Shoot, sorry guys. Let me go back to that. Letter D passes through all 4 quadrants. So the ones that we had 4, I should probably just answer at the same time. Letter B had all 4. Letter C was only 2. Letter E was only 2. The letter F has all 4. So letters B and F. All right. Then I asked you to review 1A. So we'll review 1A. Okay. So read each scenario and identify the independent and dependent quantities. Be sure to include appropriate units of measure and determine which graph models the scenario. So we have graph A and B, and we need to figure out which one models the scenario here. Henry is cooking a turkey for his family. His recipe says to cook the turkey for 15 minutes per pound. All right, so our independent and our dependent is what we wanted to identify. Now, a lot of times we go ahead and say the independent is the x-axis. It is time, I should say, is time. But in this instance, that's not going to be the case, because however much this turkey weighs influences then how much time it's going to be. So this is one of our one of the few times where we kind of reverse things, and the independent, which is influencing the time we cook, is the weight of turkey. And that is in terms of pounds. And then the dependent then is going to be the time that we cook the turkey, and that is going to be in terms of our minutes. So let's think about this then. The independent is the weight of the turkey, and the time is going to, the dependent then is the time it's going to take to cook the turkey. So if it's got a higher weight, it's got to have a higher time. If it's got a lower weight, it's going to be lower time. And as you increase the weight, as I was just saying, the time should increase. So the one that matches up with then is going to be graph B, okay? So graph B, this is going to be our weight of turkey, which is in terms of pounds. And then our time would be the dependent, our y-axis. All right. Okay, and then I said to do for today, review question 2. All right, review question 2. We need to solve this equation. These are 6th, 7th, 8th grade equations. All right, I like to probably talk about keeping the left side and right side separate. We need to solve for y. We want to move everything else to the other side. So the first thing I'm going to do is move that 13. I usually move addition and subtraction first. So 13 I subtract from both sides. Cancels on the left. 29 minus 13. 29 minus 13 is 16. And then how is that 8 attached to the y? It's attached by multiplication. So the inverse of multiplication is division. And 16 divided by 8, y is 2. That does that one.